Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our first installment, all right, of the QB rankings and tiers. This is going to be before the training camp. All the guys we're going to be looking at each and every tier, and I have specifically named each and every tier so you guys can really understand each grouping of quarterbacks throughout the whole entire draft, all right? But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at chef_D91. That's where we're doing our NFL predictions for records right now. So go to that link right now. And also, don't forget about the Patreon. That's what you're looking at right now on your screens here. We've been killing it on baseball currently. This was a 3-for-4 day. We had Cubs, we had Miami Marlins, and Philadelphia Phillies that day. And then 2 days ago, we had the Guardians, we had Miami Marlins, Los Angeles Angels, and we had the Boston Red Sox. So we've been pretty hot on baseball. If you're interested, go ahead, click that link down below for MLB bets. Obviously, we're going to be transitioning alongside with bets. We're going to be going to and getting you guys ready for best ball and fantasy football season. That's why we're dropping this hot content right now on QBs. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our tier and ranking series. Starting off with the quarterbacks, we're going to be going through quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, getting you guys ready for your best ball and fantasy football drafts. It is June. Guys usually turn around mid-July, early August. That's when really things get going for the fantasy football community, but we're going to start nice and early. So this is for you for the entire summer. No excuses. If you want to check back, make sure you come to my channel and look for these tier and ranking videos, all right? For the quarterback position, we're going to start off at the top here, okay? At the top, we're going to look at all of the league winners. Who do I think are going to be the league winners for this season in NFL? It's no particular order, right? Okay, no particular order. These are going to be all the league winners. We're going to start off first at the top with Josh Allen. Josh Allen is going to be our first guy that we're going to be looking towards as one of our league winners, okay? Now, Josh Allen, obviously, outstanding dual threat quarterback year after year. He's still a top tier quarterback. Last season, we thought he was going to take another step up with Gabriel Davis, but that did not come forth. And the key ingredient here with Josh Allen is his rushing upside. He has a #1 elite top tier talent in Stephon Diggs. He just needs a consistent #2. They did draft Dalton Kincaid in the draft early, so hopefully he can turn into somewhat of a Mike Gesicki, where he was an inline tight end getting a lot of slot snaps. So that's going to be the idea there, and that we'll get into Dalton Kincaid a little later in future videos, but that's the idea there to help Josh Allen. They were not able to get JSN or Jordan Addison or Zay Flowers in the draft. None of those guys fell. Quentin Johnston, that would have definitely helped the core wide receiver in Buffalo, but they're going to have to deal with their selection in Dalton Kincaid. Hopefully Gabriel Davis maybe can take a step up. Maybe Shakir can take a step up. We will see on that, but it does not take away from the fact that Josh Allen is the #1, one of the #1 league winners in your fantasy football drafts. The next guy we're going to be looking towards will be Lamar Jackson. He's another league winner, and the man got paid, all right? As you can see, the Baltimore Ravens faltered without him. They could have really used him in the playoffs, but Lamar Jackson is still a dynamic player, not only with his legs, which he did outstandingly last season before he got injured, but also with his arm. Do not forget, and what they did to help bolster this team around Lamar Jackson, they went out aggressively and attacked that wide receiver position. Odell Beckham, they bring in Rashad Bateman back from injury. They went and drafted Zay Flowers. So guys last year like Devin Duvernay and other special team type of speed wide receivers are now wide receiver 4s and 5s because they have Zay Flowers, Bateman is back, and Odell Beckham. Okay, not to mention they have a new offensive coordinator in Monken who's going to be more pass centric. So love the upside this year for Lamar Jackson. The next guy we're going to be looking towards will be Jalen Hurts. Okay, Jalen Hurts is going to be one of the next group of league winners that we're going to be looking towards. Outstanding year last year. It was similar to what Stephon Diggs did to Josh Allen. That was very similar to what A.J. Brown did to Jalen Hurts. So it's going to be interesting to see all these new acquisition wide receivers. What do they do to their top tier quarterback? We have some situations where we got Ridley going over to playing his first season with the Jaguars, and you also have DJ Moore going to Justin Fields. So those will be very, very interesting to see. But the Eagles were about to give up on Jalen Hurts. It wasn't like Jalen Hurts was a guaranteed thing. Not at all. Okay? So they went and decided to go through the season with him and not go after Russell Wilson. He declined that trade. And Jalen Hurts stepped up with the acquisition of A.J. Brown. A very, very good year from him. Can he take it to the next level? He has him. He has A.J. Brown, and he has Devonta Smith, who are top tier. They're basically, the way they played, were 1A, 1B at that wide receiver position last season. But this is a fully loaded offense. Love Jalen Hurts and what he did for the Philadelphia Eagles, bringing them all the way to the Super Bowl. And he is geared up for another strong year. All right, the next guy we're going to be looking towards at the league winning position will be Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow here for the Bengals, another stud. This man had a okay year. It was solid. It was solid. It was a very solid year for Joe Burrow. But this is a contract year, and this is where I'm really liking Joe Burrow in drafts right now. When you have a motivated player, this is when they usually go off. Okay, Joe Burrow, you know the Bengals are going to seal this deal very soon. Okay, so he comes out strong in that first half. You're going to be looking at a big contract coming very soon for Joe Burrow. This is the year that they're going to need to pay him. And Joe Burrow with T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase, while they're still here and under contract, and Tyler Boyd, is going to be a year for them to definitely go all off. Maybe all three wide receivers have over 1,000 yards receiving. We will see. All right, but Joe Burrow is a league winner this season. All right. Next, we have Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is going to be on our list for league winners. We want to put him right here. He had a down year last year. Absolutely awesome rookie year. Down year trend in year 2, and now we're going to pick him back up for year 3. I like what the Chargers did in the draft, going after a very athletic and yards after the catch threat in Quentin Johnson. All right, this is a perfect fit here. Another 6'4", 6'5", tall, big body wide receiver that Justin Herbert can throw to. That's what Mike Williams is, a big body wide receiver. Keenan Allen is a big body slot. And then you have Quentin Johnson. This is a very dangerous wide receiver core. They're going to be throwing their ball down the field very aggressively. 100% expect Justin Herbert to bounce back this season. That's why he's making this league winner list. And then last but not least, of course, we have Patrick Mahomes. All right, Patrick Mahomes will always be a league winner for us. And this is a year that he proved he did not need Tyreek Hill. All right, that's how good Patrick Mahomes is. We're hearing good reports about Sky Moore. Maybe he can take that role of Juju Smith-Schuster. They have Kadarius Toney. It's just that he rarely stays healthy, and the way that they use him was very limited. Even in the Super Bowl, he only played 7 snaps, Kadarius Toney. So we will see about that, but they did draft Rashee Rice, who I love, out of SMU. He's a very dynamic wide receiver as well. So they got a nice group of guys to go alongside with Travis Kelce. And these guys right here will be our league winners for our next tier. It is entitled, Can They Take the Next Step? All right, these are all the guys that had strong years last year, but can they become a better passer? Can they can they run more? All these factors here that are gonna thrust themselves into the league winner status. Okay, so these three guys are all Konami code quarterbacks. All right, that's the key for being a league winner, unless you're an elite passer. But all these guys have rushing upside. Joe Burrow is one of those elite passers and has very dynamic three wide receivers. That's why he's up there. Justin Herbert can do both. Patrick Mahomes can do both. Josh Allen can do both. Lamar and Hurts. Okay, so can they take the next step? The first guy we're going to be bringing up will be Trevor Lawrence. Came out of nowhere. No, he didn't. He had a rough rookie season. Second season came on so strong, especially in that comeback game against the Chargers, man. Insane year for Trevor Lawrence. And now we're going to talk about the acquisition of Calvin Ridley, a top-tier route runner that can get open at will. Trevor Lawrence is in a very, very great position now to have three wide receivers. Ridley, Zay Jones was absolutely phenomenal, and Christian Kirk was very solid last year. You got that core to go along with Evan Ingram, Travis Etienne, and Tank Bigsby. Jaguars are looking phenomenal. Trevor Lawrence can do it with his arm and his legs. We're gonna see if he can, with the acquisition of Calvin Ridley, if he can take it to that next level and he become a clear-cut league winner, definitely next year. And if he does take that step, it will be this year. So Trevor Lawrence is going to be the first guys we can consider as a next level guy, all right, that can be on that league winning tier. All right, next guy we're going to be talking about is Justin Fields. Okay, you can say yes, he's a poor thrower, all you want. Okay, he came from Ohio State with a stacked wide receiver grouping with Olave and JSN and Njigba and Marvin Harris Jr. He was throwing to all these guys. He was a passer. All right. He was a passer. Justin Fields can run as well, but he wasn't doing that as much in Ohio State. They leaned into that with the Chicago Bears offense, and now we're coming into a year where they were aggressive, addressed the offensive line because there was horrible pass blocking, couldn't give Justin Fields any time. They went towards the offensive line and got DJ Moore, a number one wide receiver for Justin Fields. We're going to see how that acquisition helps him this season and making him towards an absolute stud in league winning prospect at the quarterback position for fantasy football. So Justin Fields is going to be second on our list. If he can take that step up, they definitely needed help in that wide receiver core. DJ Moore now helps this Bears offense to go along with Cole Kmet, with Darnell Mooney. He's supposed to be a number 2. That's good. And it leaves Claypool as a 3. This is perfect. He should not have that type of responsibility thinking he's a number 2. He's not. He needs to be predicated to a specialty wide receiver, okay? That's what Claypool is. He does have size and speed capabilities, but maybe it takes some years to find himself. Maybe it could be this one, but it's better off that he is not the shining star on an offense. Okay, so Justin Fields, it will be second on our list, and then number 3, the third Konami code quarterback that can be in the league winning status will be Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones went in the back end, like rounds 14, 15, 16, 17, all right, in a lot of drafts. No one had any beliefs of Brian Daboll coming to the New York Giants and doing what they did to Josh Allen. That's what Daboll did to Daniel Jones, and it was an absolutely phenomenal year. If you were able to attain Daniel Jones in your drafts, you most likely made it to the championship game or won it, period, because he had a phenomenal year. Okay, now with this wide receiver core, now it was very injured last year. Daniel Jones went off rushing wise, but can he take that next step passing the football? And they went out and got some guys to help bolster that wide receiver core. A lot of guys in free agency like Paris Campbell, Wan'Dale Robinson is injured. He's going to be coming back. They do still have Sterling Shepard. They have Isaiah Hodgins who stepped up. They still have Darius Slayton, and they drafted Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee. So there's a ton of talent around Daniel Jones, and not to mention they went out and got Darren Waller. So you got a top tier, top 5 potential tight end there, and then you got a bunch of guys that can either work the slot and go deep in this wide receiver core with the New York Giants. Brian Daboll is already solidified as a quarterback whisperer. If he finishes this year again top 10, he is a quarterback whisperer, okay? He did it to Josh Allen, boosted his career, and now he's doing it with Daniel Jones. We're going to see if he can do it again this year. Can he take that next step? I think he can. That's why he belongs in this tier. Let's move on to solid floors with elite upside. For our next tier, we have solid floors with elite upside. This is the mid-tier group here. We're looking at guys around 8, 9, 10 range in your drafts that have some upside here if they take that next step. They have the weapons around them. Can they take it to the next level to provide value for you at those positions? All right, the first guy we're going to be talking about will be someone that was pretty much a comeback player of the year in Geno Smith, okay? Geno Smith has a very solid floor in that offense with the Seattle Seahawks. And now is a year where if he can take it to an elite level here with the acquisition of JSN. All right, we already have DK Metcalf. We have Tyler Lockett. A lot of people did not see this Geno Smith year coming. And this is why now in this offense that they have a very solid run game as well, that this is a very solid floor for Geno if he's going to do this yet again. But he has another step in him if he's able to get JSN in this offense and be very, very productive. They're going to most likely be running 11 personnel, no more 11 personnel because they was doing that a lot since they didn't have a complete third wide receiver. Now they do, okay? They're going to be running more of a 3 wide receiver set for this offense now with the Seattle Seahawks. And Geno Smith has he's going pretty much as a steal. He's going as like QB 14, 15 right now. And this man finished top 10. So Geno Smith is definitely someone that has some elite upside, especially where he's going right now. The next player we're going to be talking about will be Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott should be having a solid year this year. CeeDee Lamb emerged as the clear-cut number 1. We were waiting year after year with CeeDee Lamb. All right. No more Amari Cooper. That helped. Okay, so now we have the acquisition of Brandon Cooks to this offense, a guaranteed 1,000-yard wide receiver. That's what you need. You have a solidified possession receiver here in Brandon Cooks. You have an elite top-tier talent in CeeDee Lamb, and then you still have Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, yes, he's coming off the injury, but this is another year removed from that injury, and he's not having all the burden of being a number 2 wide receiver. He can be comfortable as a number wide receiver 3, and that's a very dangerous wide receiver core. And then you also have Tony Pollard coming out the backfield. So I love Dak Prescott for this season. He has some elite upside as well. The next guy we'll be looking towards will be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers coming over from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets. And he upgrades. He upgrades clearly with this offensive line, the fact that he has a defense, the fact that he is a new number 1 wide receiver, who he already is mentioned in the elk of a Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is now the number 1 target for Aaron Rodgers. And you know how Aaron Rodgers targets his number 1 wide receivers. Listen, here's an example. Christian Watson last year was a last round pick in majority of drafts or undrafted. There was so much negative connotation towards Christian Watson, and Aaron Rodgers made him a fantasy football star. Christian Watson is going in the 3rd round now, okay? He went from not being drafted to being drafted in the 3rd round now. So this is Aaron Rodgers with Garrett Wilson, a top-tier elite talent wide receiver, and he still has Allen Lazard. So this is only good. This is only good for the New York Jets. They have Corey Davis as a veteran behind that. But this is a very solid wide receiver core now for Aaron Rodgers. And he has that elite upside with the new team here in the New York Jets. All right. Next player we're going to be talking about will be Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson still has it in him. A lot of people fell off, but that year was an anomaly, okay? That is not the usual Russell Wilson season, okay? If you're looking at all his total career, all right, you have one bad year here that he had over in Denver, and that's because of Hackett, all right? Nathaniel Hackett. That offense was for Aaron Rodgers. That's why I put these two guys next to each other. Nathaniel Hackett is connected with Aaron Rodgers, but guess what? They weren't able to get Aaron Rodgers. They had to settle with Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson was running an offense that doesn't predicate to him. All right? Now you're bringing in a top-tier coach in Sean Payton, and Sean Payton did not come out of retirement to lose. Now you have a connection between Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Drew Brees is the same size, pretty much same size as Russell Wilson, okay? We understand a shorter quarterback here. Sean Payton with Russell Wilson is going to get things clicking. He even drafted his own wide receiver in Marvin Mims. We're going to see how that connection is to go in this trio of wide receivers with Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, and Marvin Mims now. That's a nice little trio that they got going for Russell Wilson. I expect a huge bounce back year for him in Denver, okay? Next wide receiver will be Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, hey, this is a very interesting quarterback. A lot of people are looking at what he did to finish last season. Obviously, he had some time off with all the allegations and the massaging that you want to talk about. But listen, Deshaun Watson is still a top-tier talented quarterback. Now he gets a full offseason in the playbook with this offense and new wide receivers in this core for the Cleveland Browns. They went out and traded for Elijah Moore to go alongside of Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones. They drafted Cedric Tillman. They have David Njoku. It's a very talented receiving core for Deshaun Watson. And the fact that they gave him a guaranteed contract, they're gonna put the ball in his hands, okay? Expect a ton of attempts from Deshaun Watson, all right? 100%. They paid top dollar. If you think they're not going to make sure they get their money's worth, you're absolutely crazy. That's why you can even say Deshaun Watson is safe, a safe selection, because the amount of usage that they're going to put on this man's shoulders. They guaranteed a contract for him, all right? 100% guaranteed. They're going to make sure they get their money's worth. So Deshaun Watson has that upside and a solid floor at the QB position, okay? Next will be Tua Tagovailoa. And the only thing that's holding him back is injury, all right? He has a talented wide receiver core, probably number one in the game between Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. It's up there with like three other teams. But Tua has it in the bag. He was phenomenal last year when he was healthy. And if he can stay healthy, that's the only thing holding him back. All right. Next in this tier will be Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a gunslinger, and the reason why we're putting him up here is because he has the number one wide receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson. They got rid of Adam Thielen. They got Jordan Addison, who's another good route runner, and they have KJ Osborne, who's a very solid slot wide receiver. And then TJ Hawkinson definitely acclimated to this team very, very easily. So the Vikings have the weapons. Kirk Cousins has the arm, and he doesn't have no rushing upside. That's why he would have to throw for a lot of touchdowns. He would have to have a Tom Brady year, like 45 plus touchdowns. It'd have to be insane. But that's where the elite upside lies in Kirk Cousins, when he has the talented wide receivers to do so. Okay. And then Matt Stafford will put in a solid floor, because this Los Angeles Rams defense is depleted. All right. This leaves Matt Stafford in a scenario where he has to play like he did with the Detroit Lions, okay? He's going to have to be another year gunslinging for Matt Stafford. Do not forget about him, all right? He has Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp should be healthy all season long. They drafted Puka Nacua. They have Van Jefferson. They have a solid core here, not like the other guys I spoke about, but it's good enough for Matt Stafford to put up some fantasy points. I like him in this tier. Let's move on to the variety pack. Next up, we have the variety pack. This is a group of guys that are either have some upside to be in that solid floor tier, or they're just a pocket passer and they're going to have just solid weeks. They might have a week here and there that they can blow up over 20 fantasy points, but we're not really expecting that. But there are some gems in this tier here if you decide to go this route, if you want to wait a little bit. But there's some solid guys here. The first guy we're going to be talking about is Jared Goff. There's not much upside here with Jared Goff. That's why he's in the variety pack. But he's going to be a solid quarterback for you. Obviously, the Detroit Lions, like what he brought to the table last season, especially in Hard Knocks. He really became a strong leader for this team, and he found his number one wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay, we're going to see what happens with Jameson when he can come back from his suspension. They drafted Sam Laporta. So there's some upside here for the Detroit Lions at that wide receiver position and receiving core period. They do have Jahmyr Gibbs. That's going to help bolster the numbers for Jared Goff here. But he's a guy that's okay, solid, talented. Not someone I'm really going to be targeting, but he falls in this tier, okay? Next guy we're going to be talking about will be Derek Carr. Derek Carr had an awesome year last year throwing to Devontae Adams. That's all. It wasn't that great of a year. That's why the Raiders got rid of him. But he connects very well to his number one wide receiver, okay? So you should expect that to Chris Olave, all right? We're not expecting much from Michael Thomas. They do have Rashid Shaheed, who's a speedster, and that can definitely get down the field. And they are very talented at the tight end position with Jawan Johnson and Taysom Hill. So there's a plenty of guys that can be X factors in this offense for the Saints. But Derek Carr is just not that guy that we're going to put in the league winning status or even have a solid floor. That's why he falls in his just average mid-tier, all right? If you just need someone to give you 15 points, that's going to be Derek Carr. He's going to have some blow-up weeks when Chris Olave goes off, but don't expect consistency from him, all right? Next will be Anthony Richardson, okay? This one here, I could have put him in the late round upside, but he doesn't go late round. He goes at 9, 10, right around that range, sometimes even 8 because of the rushing upside. And that's why he falls in this section. He has all the capabilities of being a very good quarterback, but we're gonna have to wait and see if he can put it together in his first year. All right, you're gonna be taking a risk when you go after Anthony Richardson here because we just do not know. All right, he does have Michael Pittman, he does have Josh Downs and Alec Pierce, okay, to go along with Jonathan Taylor and Jelani Woods at the tight end position. So there are some bright spots for this team here for the Colts. It's going to be on the shoulders of Anthony Richardson. If he can complete some solid passes here, maybe you can implement the RPO offense to get easy catches to his number one wide receiver or hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. But Anthony Richardson is just in this mid-tier, and it's up to you if you want to take this risk. But he has huge upside, all right? Next guy we're going to be talking about will be Jordan Love, okay? Jordan Love, they sent off Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love has been behind Aaron Rodgers for the past couple years, very similar to when Aaron Rodgers was behind Brett Favre. So he has some upside here. I could have put him in that late round upside tier. I just might. But right now, we just don't know. There's another unknown here. He did have some solid, 3 quarters in the game. He came in a blowout game for the Green Bay Packers. He played solidly there. But the Green Bay Packers obviously think he is ready. And hopefully it turns out like they did when they transitioned from Favre to Rodgers. Hopefully this is very similar to when they go over from Rodgers to Jordan Love. So I like the prospects of him to go alongside Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Jaden Reed. All right. Next guy we're going to be talking about will be Jimmy G. Jimmy G needs to pass his physical. All right, this could be an absolute flop. He's going super late, but there's no upside here. All right, he's a good regular season quarterback. He's not a good fantasy quarterback. Okay, he had to have all his guys go off. He was lucky to have Deebo Samuel to have yards after the catch and have 5 to 10 yard passes go for touchdowns. Okay, same thing with George Kittle, but Jimmy Garoppolo, not much to love here. He falls in that mid range where you don't really want to. You really don't. You find any possible reason to find someone else than Jimmy G. All right. Next, we have Kyler Murray in this tier here. He has elite upside, but we're just waiting on injury. So this is a wait and see for him. So definitely stay tuned to news on his injury status. And the closer we get to that, then we can move him up to different tiers. But as of right now, he is in this spot here. Okay. Next guy will be Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill was a complete flop last year. That's why they went out and drafted Will Levis. He falls in a range where you do not want him as well. And there's no upside for Ryan Tannehill. This offense is Derrick Henry. Okay. Hopefully we can maybe he can throw to Treylon Burks and get him consistent targets. He's the clear-cut number one. That's why you're going for him. But you don't bank it on the fact that Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback, okay? And then last but not least for this tier will be Mac Jones, all right? He started out horribly last season, finished a little bit better to end the year. He needs a number one wide receiver. They have Juju Smith-Schuster. He's not a number one. Hopefully they can get DeAndre Hopkins, and maybe that can turn around the prospects of Mac Jones for this season. All right, let's move on to late round upside. Last but not least, we have the late round upside QBs here. The first guy we're going to be talking about here, these are all the quarterbacks in the back end of the drafts that have winning upside. Okay, so last year, Daniel Jones was in this range where no one was drafting him, or he went last at the end, and he had huge upside. Geno Smith was another guy that went late in drafts, had huge upside. Tua Tagovailoa was going pretty late in drafts as well and had some upside as long as he stayed healthy. But there are gems when you're digging this deep. Justin Fields was going really late last season. Trevor Lawrence was going really late last season, okay? So this is a very, very important core of quarterbacks here. I rather and almost prefer that you go in this tier when you're in their super flex leagues or you're looking for a second quarterback in your regular leagues, to aim for one of these guys in the back that has huge upside, okay? Or in your best ball as well. If you're looking for a third quarterback, you can, or second or third, and grab one of these two guys in the back, okay? Or just one, all right? So first guy we're going to be talking about will be Baker Mayfield. Yes, I say Baker Mayfield, okay? He does not fall in that variety pack. He has upside, okay? If we saw how he finished that Los Angeles Rams season last year, it was very solid. And now he's coming over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers where they have elite wide receivers, okay? We have Mike Evans and they have Chris Godwin, okay? That alone, that's probably his best wide receiver core he's ever thrown to, all right? So this is going to be a spot where Baker Mayfield is going to have to prove himself. He has guys that can get open, especially Chris Godwin, and he has Mike Evans that can get open down the field, that's going to come down with the ball and not good situations, all right? Mike Evans can come down with that football in traffic situations. So like Baker Mayfield, where he's going really late as your third quarterback filler, has some upside there because of the upside of his wide receivers. And this is an interesting stat that I found. So this is the key stat for these late round upside guys. If they have two receiving options at least in the top 70 or top 80 that are going in ADP in your drafts, they're most likely going to have a good year, all right? Most likely going to have a good year. Here's an example, okay? You have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has T. Higgins and he has Jamar Chase going in the top 2 rounds. That's the reason why we like Joe Burrow. Okay, he has two elite wide receivers going high. That's why we can bank on Joe Burrow having a good year. Another reason in the next tier, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has Calvin Ridley going in the top 3 rounds. He has Christian Kirk going in the top 5 rounds. And then he also has Zay Flowers and Evan Ingram that are going very high. That's why we like Trevor Lawrence. Another example, the reason why we like Geno Smith is because he has DK Metcalf going high. He has Tyler Lockett going around 6 and 7. And he has JSN that's going high in drafts as well. Okay, all those factors in. All right, if you have options that are going high in drafts, unless they're an anomaly like Patrick Mahomes, he just has Travis Kelce, then they're most likely going to have a solid season. Okay, next guy we're going to be talking about will be Sam Howell. What did I bring up? I told you about guys that are going high. They have Terry McLaurin that's going high in drafts, and they have Jahan Dotson. We're banking in on this team, right? If we like Jahan Dotson and we like Terry McLaurin, why don't we like Sam Howell? There's a reason why that the backup quarterback before he left, I believe it was Carson Wentz, he demanded Sam Howell to play. All right? There's something in this kid, and this was a top-tier quarterback prospect coming out. Don't forget, Sam Howell was highly coveted, okay? He got pushed back on the depth chart here. He had, and matter of fact, he had an 800-yard rushing year the season before he left Carolina. All right? He has some prospects here. A lot of people want to just go over to Jacoby Brissett, but Sam Howell has huge upside in this offense for Washington. I like him as a late round guy here. All right. Next guy we have is CJ Stroud. Right now he is lighting up OTAs. Right now he does have Nico Collins. They drafted Tank Dell. They have a couple other options. They got Dalton Schultz that can be a consistent tight end for him. So there's John Mechie supposed to be coming back. So CJ Stroud is supposed to be an elite passer, accurate passer. We're going to be seeing him if he can put that together. Maybe he has some upside with his legs. We're going to see if that happens. But he's definitely someone worth the dart throw when you're in that back end of the draft, all right? Next guy will be Bryce Young. Bryce Young, obviously, number 1 quarterback, baby. This man is an absolute stud. Coming over to Carolina, he's going to put this team on his back. Don't look at his stature. Look at his heart, all right? They drafted Jonathan Mingo. They have Terrace Marshall as well. And who's another? Terrace Marshall, Jonathan Mingo. I'm forgetting the third wide receiver. But Bryce Young is in a good situation here with the Carolina Panthers. And he is definitely someone in the ilk of Patrick Mahomes that can definitely bring up this offense and take it to the next level. Love Bryce Young going late in drafts right now, okay? Next guy we're going to be looking at will be Kenny Pickett. Can Kenny Pickett in the full entire season take the Steelers offense to the next level? Yes, it's the same boring offensive coordinator, but he does have elite talented wide receivers. We have George Pickens. We have Deontay Johnson, who's the possession receiver. Pickens is the deep guy. Pat Freiermuth is going to be going down the seams. He's a great receiving tight end. They have Darnell Washington that they drafted as well, who's going to be a blocking tight end. And he's going to be a key component in that red zone area because he has elite size, okay? So Kenny Pickett has all the weapons, has a line, has a running back. Can himself take it to the next level? He is a guy going super late that has upside and could be one of those Geno Smiths, Daniel Jones types, Trevor Lawrence's types this season, okay? Next, we have, actually, this should be last but not least here. We have Desmond Ridder. Yes, I said it. Desmond Ridder is the last but not least guy that you should be looking for in the late round upside top tier type of range, okay, that has some upside, okay? We're looking at the fact that we're banking in on Bijan Robinson going in the top 10 picks. Not only that, we're banking in the fact that Drake London is going to have a great year. He's going around 4 or 5. we're not only banking in on that, we're banking in the fact that they have Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts is going around 5 and 6. All right. He's a super sleeper going late because of all the capital that's going in on his teammates. You have to have Desmond Ridder to play well if you think they're going to play well. All right. Bijan, he's going to have the rushing, but the receiving upside is going to take him to a whole nother level. All right. But you're also banking in on Drake London and Kyle Pitts. So if we have those three guys in the mix, we expect something, or at least anything, from Desmond Ridder that's going to be worthwhile back in that draft where we're taking him in round 18, 17, okay? There is upside for Desmond Ridder. He's a super sleeper, okay? And in this wait until training camp tier here, that's Kyler Murray. I moved him down from Variety Pack. And that also is on Brock Purdy and Trey Lance, okay? And Will Levis. We'll throw these three extra guys here. So Brock Purdy, we're going to see if he can come back from injury. And then we have Trey Lance here. Can he beat out Brock Purdy before he comes back? So we're going to see if that comes to fruition. Kyler Murray, we're waiting on injury. And Will Levis, we got to wait and see if he can become the number one quarterback in this offense during training camp. So definitely pay attention to that. We can find another gem down at this level. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Guys, if you're not a viewer, if you are a viewer and not a subscriber, go ahead and click that subscribe button right this second. All right, let's boost us up to 2,000. Okay, let's get to 2,000 before the season starts, and we can really take this channel to the next level. All right, appreciate you guys. Peace out. And if you want to see my correlation video on best ball, go to the link down below.